So this is a really common mistake that I see a lot of startups make. They think that the idea is king, that this thing that they came up with, that is this brilliant idea that everyone thinks is so great, and that all these investors, all these startup competition holders, and all these thought leaders think is a great idea. They think that, okay, I should hold on to the idea and just keep finding a different type of user until my idea resonates with someone. The problem with that, again, is you might spend years just going down this road of trying to find someone to like your idea and to use your product, when in fact, you should be starting from a problem and user point of view and thinking what you should be building to help solve a problem, not forcing a product on someone who doesn't even have a problem that your product solves, or your product doesn't solve any problem and you're just forcing people to use a product that you think is a good idea, that everyone else has said is a good idea, but really doesn't solve any problem. Just because you think you have a good idea and all these other people have said you have a good idea does not mean it is the right thing to build. You should be talking to users, focusing on user feedback and using that as feedback to drive your product development, not the feedback of people who are not your users, who literally have no intention to give you the right feedback because they're not your users. They can't give you the right feedback. You're not solving a problem for them and they're not paying for your product. Of course, they're going to say all these nice things about your idea, because why would anyone want to start a conflict with you and give you negative feedback if they don't have the problem? Why would they even be able to give you the right feedback? Ditch this concept of having a startup idea. Focus on a problem, focus on a user, and build something that actually solves the problem for a specific kind of user. That is going to be the idea you should be pursuing. Something that actually solves a problem in a practical sense, not something that's conceptually fascinating and uses a new technology that is so great and so innovative, but in fact, what you're really doing is building something that nobody wants. And I get it. A lot of startup talk is about what the next great idea is or what my idea should be, when in fact it should be what problem should I be solving? What problem isn't being solved that I should be solving? And what group of people have this pain point that is not being addressed that I can address through software? That's what you should be doing. Choosing a problem, choosing a user, and then maybe thinking about an idea. But it doesn't even have to reach that point. You should just be building a product. Don't come up with ideas out of the blue and then think that they're going to solve some problem and for some user, and that you should just pick the problem and the user later. Just build something first and then go find the problem and the user. That is not the right way to develop product. You should instead be focusing on a problem, trying to solve that problem with a minimal amount of product development, ideally something that's no code. As long as your product is solving a problem for a group of users and perhaps they're paying you for it, then you're on the right track. Don't focus on what sounds good to a group of people who are not your users. Focus instead on solving a problem for a target user.